Hey there, Harry. Game changer here. Forgive the background noise, by the way, it's a little bit windy where I'm at. Just thought I'd have a little scan at your base while I can as an enemy because you can see a lot more detail. First observation's really good. I'm liking the spawn zone. If you look how far you're pushing everybody out, there's maybe a small glitch there you could tidy, but other than that, you're doing well. I noticed mine-wise, got a couple of obviously anti-vehicle there and two anti-personnel there. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on the anti-personnel. I certainly wouldn't be attacking you with troops at my level, so maybe they could be anti-vehicle mined potentially. I do like the fact you've got the heavy cannon, that's excellent, and if you look at the cover, that's going to be good. I would suggest one thing that I would do to attack you. You can see my typical platoon here is the M270s, followed by the Macabre. Now, what I would do, if I wanted to say attack this side of you here, I would drop my Merc in that area there, and I would basically take a little bit of punishment from your machine gun, but I will be going up and over with the M270 and taking out your war factory here. Now, I'm not obviously going to take you out completely, but I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you how my typical attack would work against your base. So, have no fear if you see that I'm attacking you. It's purely to see how things will work. So if I launch the M270, say from here, I can straight away click on that war factory there, and I'm going to take that without you picking us up. Now I would then bring in the Zeus to that sort of point there, and then I'd back off. The Zeus will take care of the helicopter, no problem. Drop the tank. And I can just sit it out here, wait for your attack to come to us. Now I'm just going to wait for your Barrett guys to come. So this is why they use the M270 and the Zeus, because the Zeus picks off soldiers rather well. So you can see from that onwards, I'm going to kind of be okay to get into your base now. So I just wanted to kind of show you that, just to show you how attacks can work. Because my next move on you guys here, I just wait to get these choppers out. I'm going to use this mountain against you, because I should be able to come up and over, and that machine gun's not going to pick us up. And then if I come along the back here, and the problem you've got with railguns on this side and two of is that they've got very short range. So you'll find that with the railguns here, I'll be outranging them with an M270, and there's nothing, if you notice, to pick us up. There's no howitzer, there's no salvo on this side, there's no peacemaker, which would be particularly good. So once I've kind of got that railgun, I'm free from this side. Just got to keep out of the way of your heavy cannon. And if you noticed, all this so far is without anything really hitting us yet. Have I lost anything? Maybe I've took a little bit of oil damage with a tank, I think, coming out to meet me. But so far, no major problem. I'd then obviously come around this side, and again, you've got no peacemaker or anything like that. That's got particularly long range. So what I could then do is just take out the heavy cannon. Notice again, I'm outranging it. And then I think you'll agree the rest is going to be fairly straightforward. So I'm going to surrender there. and then we'll rerun. Okay, so we're back to your base again, all back intact. So yeah, hopefully that hasn't caused you concern seeing that I'm attacking you. So what I want you to get out of that is that you need to be thinking about position of things. So you saw I took out the war factory quite easily, unaided, and notice this machine gun didn't pick me up because I was protected by this area here. So if you're going to keep things as they are, you probably want to drop a mine, and certainly it needs to be an anti-vehicle mine in that sort of area to put us off. And that turret there probably wants to be some sort of up and over, like a howitzer, like a salvo, something along that sort of line. Two railguns. The problem with railguns, I mean, if you look at what I'm going to attack, if I'm going to take you out with M270s or the HIMARS or anything else that nature going forward, GMLRS, and I can outrange a railgun, absolutely no problems. It really is no trouble for us. The weapons that cause me bother if I was attacking at any time against any player, the bit that causes me bother are the peacemakers, salvos to a degree always cause a little bit of trouble, and things along that sort of line. The things that don't cause me any bother are helicopters, particularly, although your helicopters were pretty good. They're quite strong, and you noticed how the heavy cannon are just completely and utterly outranged. So I want you to have a little think about that. And I know you've got an extra turret going to be coming in here, but we'll come on to that in a moment. But the moment you're very light on air, I could have done a couple of airstrikes, no problem, and taken out quite a bit as well. So the first observation I would tell you, apart from what I've gone through, is your base is quite large. The problem with a large base, although you've got a tight centre here, you've got this ring of death kind of going on. You know, it does leave you vulnerable from this side, and you're obviously protecting that to a degree with mines. But ultimately I can come in from this side and not have any problems, and I can use your barriers against you, as you found with that lump of rock there. That machine gun didn't pick us up. What I would suggest that you do is have a real strong think about what you need inside your base, because I don't need my CC, I don't need my airport, I don't need personally my helicopters not in my CC, nor is my heavy cannon, nor is my power plant. That's the word I'm looking for. So what I've got is a very, very small compact centre like you have here. But my very small compact centre is actually just the war factory and the barracks surrounded by walls. And the idea that it keeps all my troops inside, it stops them spilling out on the attack, which I'll cover on another instruction if you want. But that means my walls are very, very small, and then my turrets are on the outside of the walls. But it means, like you've got now, all the turrets are kind of overlapping each other. But I've also got a lot of thought into what turret goes where. So this side here is quite soft, isn't it, from a distance attack, because not only could I take the war factory and then the rail guns without being picked up, but I can use an up and over attack against all this side here and not be picked up. The only weapon you've got that's up and over at this moment in time is this salvo. And that didn't even pick us up. It wasn't even causing us any bother. And I could basically come in along this side and take care of the flak, and then I'd be hitting your base quite easily, because most things aren't going to pick us up. So at your level, suggest that you have a look at getting a couple of peacemakers in there. The peacemaker have a massive range. I'm going to pause and go back into my base just so you can see something. So this is a smaller base format I was explaining about. I mean, I've still got the same spread that you've got, so the base is actually the same size. It's just I've got this core ring of death like you were using, but that obviously protects the war factory and the barracks, and these tight walls keep all the vehicles and soldiers in, so unless I take a wall out, they don't escape. In combination, I've got 3 flak, I've got 1 flak, I've got a second flak here, and then out of view I've just hidden behind there a little third flak which I'm upgrading at the moment. Still a little bit juvenile, let's say, but certainly it's going to get upgraded before too long. But I've just snicked that out at the back. All my turrets are transformed up where possible to maximise how well they work. You see the 30% boost that you get on a machine gun, for example, same on a flak there. So always trying to sort of look for any advantage I can get. Just always check they're powered up, by the way, as you can see there. That one wasn't for a second. And these are the peacemakers. So if you look at the range of a peacemaker, now what I'm aiming to do here, if you look at the mine placement, I'm expecting people wanting to take that big gun out, and with a long range M270, I'm thinking, well, maybe mine should go here. I found somebody earlier snuck around the side of that wall here. So I'm going to kind of think, well, maybe that's a gap, so just move that mine over. So if they try and sneak around that wall there, they might catch that a little bit more. So always be watching replay videos and just see how things work. But if you look at these peacemaker, if you look at the coverage of that particular one, and then on top of that you've got a second peacemaker covering that side as well, and then you've got a salvo which is covering the same sort of side. So you've got three very strong attacks going on from that there. If you look at this salvo here, if the salvo's picking you up, then you've got that picking you up thereafter, and then you've got that one picking you up there after that, and there I say that one picking you up there after that. So if you come in from this side, you're probably going to get hit about 3 or 4 different turrets. And then you've got similar if you come in from this side. I've got 2 machine guns that are going to pick you up. I've then got obviously salvo picking you up. I've then got peacemakers, more salvos to a degree, not quite so much. And then I've obviously got that that's there. Now I would say that's my vulnerable side, and I know that, and I exploit that because that's why the walls are tight. So when you hit the walls, all of a sudden out will spill several mortar men, out will spill tanks and things like that, which obviously then they're going to all hit you at once, as well as the peacemakers and the salvos and things along that sort of line. The most important thing for myself that I'm aiming for, and hopefully it'll work, time will tell, but I'm aiming for a base that where many things hit you at once, where vehicles don't leech and come to meet you, where soldiers are trapped inside the barracks so that they act like another turret. I'm just trying to create a base that, you know, if you attack it, I won't win them all, but you know what, as long as I win more than I lose. The only downside I've got is my PP level's 7,000 and odd, which means I'll get hit by 60s and 70s, so obviously here I don't win many of them, which is why I'm still only about 50%. But still, 50% is good as a defensive statistic. So maybe there's things that you can pick up out of that. Maybe there's things you'll do differently on your base. It was just purely to give you ideas and another pair of eyes so you could see what I would see as an attacker. And I do this with everybody in my team, so not singling out in any way, shape or form. And I didn't mean to suggest earlier that your defence figures were weak. I just knew there was an opportunity to help you a little bit more. Alright, my mate, you take care. Cheers.